right, everybody. This is Mr. Hague's podcast, and I have the esteemed honor of having my students here at this podcast and follow up on the episode 1, the purpose behind high school. So, me saying one thing, but hearing the students talk is completely two different things. And, of course, I had my own freshman year. I had my own senior year. I had my own high school experience. And, of course, I went to high school in the 1980s. And that world is long gone. Okay, so now we have current students. They have their own experience, a new set of issues, a new set of concerns. So I kind of thought I'd bring them in and see what they have to say. So I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. We have 2 freshmen, young ladies, and we have 1 gentleman who is a senior. So let's go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Timothy. I'm glad to meet you all on this podcast episode with Mr. Hague.
Hello, my name is Elena. I'm glad to be here too.
Hi, my name is Darla. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, and you're Tim. You're a senior.
I'm a senior, yes.
And
I'm a freshman.
You're a freshman, and
I'm
you're a
also a
freshman.
freshman.
And okay, fantastic. So we've got our ducks in a row covered. I'm going to see if I can get other students also and give their whole idea. So I'd like to ask my freshman young ladies, before high school, what did you envision high school to be like?
Oh, the stereotypical high school musical, oh my god, jocks. The way the movies portrayed it as, well, everyone has their separate group of cheerleaders, jocks, and I feel like every Hollywood American movie has that stereotypes of, different people. And, there's popular and there's, the loners, but, in reality, there really isn't any of that.
Tim, you've been here. This is your 4th year. So when you envision high school before you're a freshman, and now you're here, you're about to embark on the real world. So looking back, was high school anything that you envisioned?
For me personally, high school was something scary, but also something worthwhile to experience. Because back then I was dealing with a lot of social skills. I wasn't really good with my social things, and my discipline was really lack. So when I went to high school, I always saw the negatives and the positives about how I can use this chance to give me maturity and discipline so that I can use that when I get older. I'm a person who really thinks a lot ahead, but how I envision high school was a way where I can learn how to get my manhood. But I finally graduate and turn 18, I start to continue that new adventure with my adultness and my responsibilities.
So how are you different as a freshman as you are right now?
I think when I was a freshman, I had everything, I would work off my bottom off, just trying to get good grades. Now I think now I'm a senior. I was really strict when I was a freshman. I really didn't have fun or anything, but now as a senior, I really just do things to see the new experience of it and to enjoy what I learn, new things, and it's fun.
Well, let me ask the freshman ladies here. So he really overworked as a freshman, which is typical because as a freshman, and I've seen, of course, you are both probably different because I see freshmen who are kind of slacking off. I see seniors who are slacking off. But then I do see freshmen. Do you feel you put too much stress on yourself?
I feel like I don't put enough stress on myself because my grades did start slipping a bit. But because of that, I feel like I do need to start working on my grades more because it is a huge necessity as a freshman.
Okay.
Since middle school or through elementary, middle school until now, I was that student who did well on their grades, assignments on time, straight A's. And when it comes to that, there isn't any stress on oh, I need to do this well. Not really. The stress of basically assignments. I don't stress over assignments this is hard for me. No, everything is pretty simple for me, but the stress I have is trying to keep up and try to keep it all straight A's. I have that stress you have to have straight A's all through high school. That's me right now. I'm you have to keep it up. You have to get good grades or else.
So in other words, you kind of carried things over from middle school onto high school.
Exactly.
However, I noticed you said the key word, have tos. So do you feel that adults, teachers, parents, friends, do you feel that they put stress on you? Have you experienced that?
Sometimes my parents were really flexible, and they were always like, Timmy, you know what? We know that you worked really hard to be able to get good grades on middle school, but we never expect you to ever like bring so much, because we know that every time you try, you give it your all. My parents always tell me that you come in with the grade and we see how you worked, and we be exactly all right with what you bring to us. And I think that was something hard for me to learn, because I always wanted to bring something extra. That's why I always try to get straight A's, because too, with like what I have, like ADHD, I have like a different way of learning. I always try to surpass what people say that my brain cannot go to, or what I cannot learn, or how slow I learn. So I would challenge myself mostly than what my parents' expectations were. And my parents' expectations were always flexible.
Wow, I wish I had mom like that. I don't have that. I was like, you will do your work, or you will, be punished, and you will be grounded, and you will never get a car for the rest of your life. Yes. So how about you, ladies? What do you feel that adults are giving you stress? Because I mean, you, Sarah, I'm hearing here that you do have the stress, and that you do have the kind of do or else kind of attitude.
The weight on my shoulders of you have to do well. You have to do well in school so you can get a good job. You can pay for yourself, and maybe in the future you can support us. That's my family. Right there. She's like you got it.
Like, your parents saying, like, oh, no job's going to look at you if you don't get, like, your high school degrees, like with straight
they'll
A's.
Say, I'm looking forward
my
to
mom said they looked till middle school with all your A's and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't get good grades in middle school, because in elementary, used to have the best grades ever. I would always get honor rolls and things like that. In middle school, I ended up getting, like, principals. But I would always, like, do my work and, like, nonstop. Now that I'm getting older, I'm like, yeah, I need to do my work still, but it's still a big stress, because they do tell me, like, hey, you're failing. Hey, like, you have a C. That's a bad grade right now. And I'm like, it's passing.
You're getting older? How old are you, 14?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're really getting older. I'm 53 here.
I mean, it's like when I started to work really hard at the beginning, and I saw how my ears, when you get like a little bit more, when you start growing in high school life, and when you're doing your homeworks, you notice one thing when you're like in your junior or sophomore years, that you know that you work so hard, but you see like the sacrifice you do, but then you see like, do I really have to put this much work into it? I know I can do it this way, but do I have to really stick my butt off? Like it's not like those like hardworking jobs that they don't even give you benefits and they just make you work like a slave. They make you, but you have your choice. You have the way you want to work with your own homework, And that's what you got to establish sometimes, even though sometimes parents like to put that so they always have you looking up and not down. But you can also look up, but you can also look at different ways to go up, not just one way where traditionally parents tell you that get good grades, keep reading books. You go up in a way where it helps you feel peace while getting better in something that's going to help you later on in life.
And that's very powerful, that you find peace while you do your work. So what do you think what kind of words do you want your parents or your teachers, your counselors to tell you? And this is for the freshmen. What do you want them to tell you? What do you hope that what do you need for people to tell you to kind of calm things down? Because I sense that there's a little tenseness in your freshman year, and it can be, because it's a whole new world. What do you want people to say to you?
Probably like the reassurance that how many things do you take from high school and use them in your everyday life? That's my question to you. Like, how many things did you learn in high school that you actually take like into your everyday life? The things that you didn't want to do, the things you weren't a part of because you wanted to be.
Okay, so I guess that question is for me. Well, my immediate answer would be that looking back, I now say that a lot of high school had influence on me in many ways. Okay, so for instance, it's really important to read. It's important to write. I am not a good speller. And, when I do like business meetings and I send business memos, and if they see spelling errors, they're going to throw a fit. Same thing when I've been a web designer for 25 years, and if there are spelling errors, they're going to be like, well, who am I hiring? So it does come into play, and I think Tim nailed it in the head when he said you find your own way to make things less stressful for you. And so I'm telling you, as your teacher, as an adult, is that you need to learn how to enjoy high school. You are not pressured to come up with the results that in your minds right now that you think you have to do. Now, I'm not saying you should not get good grades, but the more important thing is that you develop a love of learning. You have to enjoy, or you want to enjoy, high school. And if you notice in my classes, I try to make people enjoy. I want them to really have fun, except for the web class. I tried, but again, I guess my final thought is that Tim, what grade would you give your high school experience?
I gave my high school experience a grade a B.
A B.
Because high school really helped me counter a lot of things that if I had a choice to counter social skills. I was really antisocial back then, and in high school, a lot of kids were coming up to me to be social and had to do a lot of characteristics in a good way.
And ladies, what would you give your grade to high school up until now? And would it be and be honest?
A D.
A D, okay.
Probably like a D or D minus.
So it's not going too well for you. But the thing is that you are both very young, and you've got the thing I want to say. You all are my podcasters, so why don't you say a pitch about your podcast?
Well, I wanted to say, you guys, we are Soul Lyrics podcast. It's about, we talk about the hidden meanings about lyrics and what the lyrics means and how the author was probably feeling and what the author got off from his vision or dream, and he wrote it in a song. And we talk about how beautiful it can be, an impact of a meaning of a song can reflect and give us a part of ourselves. Sometimes when we listen to the song, we're like, oh, that's like me. It's like a part of me. And that part of me is real, and that part of me has meaning.
So it's called Soul Lyrics.
Soul Lyrics.
Okay, so you can find it on Instagram.
We're going to post it on YouTube.
And also ghspods.com.
GHSpods.
And ladies, you have a podcast?
Hi,
Yes, we
we're
do.
Quadruple Chaos.
Quadruple Chaos.
We're two of the members of our podcast so far. Like, the other two weren't in here.
They're not here today.
No, one of them's editing outside right now.
Okay.
But so far, like, we're doing, like,
the
funny
basic-
arguments.
Honestly, it's basically, at first it was about debates and like arguments, but now we just find a topic and we talk about it, and somehow it ends up being very chaotic.
Like, at times it will be talking about, like, a topic, and then, like, our last episode, we had a topic idea, and it moved to 3 different topics.
At
Chaos,
once.
but it was funny and entertaining for us, at least.
And all of you are very good at podcasting. And do you enjoy podcasting? What grade would you give your podcasting experience?
A+.
Nay.
A++.
All right. So with that being said, I want to thank my special guests here. You guys did great. And freshmen, I think you will have a very successful high school career. I pretty much tell you, Tim, you can do great in life. All right. With that being said, this is Mr. Hagues. We'll come back at another time. Take care.